Okay, so just in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens to dietary protein. So anytime you're consuming protein, what happens is you have a pool of amino acids in your blood and also in your body fluids as a result of consuming that protein. And what happens to that is those proteins are used for body tissues. When you think about athletes, they're primarily thinking, need to take protein so that I can have more muscle mass. But it's also used in hormones, enzymes, and antibodies, also for skin, hair, and then excreted when somebody consumes too much protein and the body doesn't utilize it, it just gets excreted. So that's primarily what our protein is used for. So the textbook talks a little bit about it. It is used as a very last resort for energy, but its primary role is not energy at all. So what happens when we don't have enough energy, such as the case when somebody has an eating disorder or for whatever reason cannot get food inside of them or protein inside of them. So you have a degradation that happens of your body tissues, and you see this when you see somebody who is struggling with an eating disorder, and that degradation, the muscle starts to break down and puts those amino acids back into the bloodstream so that the body can use it, and it strips that amino acid so you have nitrogen, and that nitrogen then forms urea, and urea is excreted. So how do we get energy? So there's a carbon residue that is um, part of that amino acid structure, and that then forms your carbohydrates and fats, and then you have oxidation of those carbohydrates and fats to energy. So um, muscle doesn't turn to fat. I've heard people say, muscle turns to fat. Muscle doesn't turn to fat. If you're not using your muscle, you have muscle atrophy. The muscles get smaller, and you more than likely, most people actually increase in their body fat because of their calorie consumption. But muscle fiber in itself does not turn to fat. It can be used, as in this example, when I don't get enough carbohydrates or fat and my body starts to break itself down, converts that amino acid to carbohydrates and fats, and ultimately have an energy supply.